Time now for the Nick Hart Show, our weekly chat with the Gibson Southern Titans head football coach, Nick Hart. It's a presentation of the Gibson Southern Football Boosters, including Hip Dentistry, in memory of Darwin and Eric Kalis, JMCO Technologies, Kiesel Enterprises Incorporated, MyTech Systems, Robert Goob Vermillion of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, Rhythm Church, Evansville, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, Tenbarge Seed and Turfgrass Supplies, TYFL, Vogler Metalwork and Design Incorporated, Reinbrecht Homes, Stodgel Funeral Home and Monuments, Young's Auto Body, Light Transport, Brett's Car Care, Baker Tax and Financial Services, Cordray Insurance, Daylight Land Management, Davis Brothers, Du Bois County Garage Doors, Duke Energy, Foster Construction, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Harper's Pub and Pizza, Hobstadt Summerfest Incorporated, Heidorn Construction, Hobstadt Family Dentistry, Hen Orthodontics, Hillside Gardens, ADG Architecture and Design Group, Dady Oil, Johnson Commercial Mowing, in loving memory of Zach Bailey, Julia's School of Dance, Kathy Solman Photography, Make Your Mark, United Fidelity Bank, Vertical Tile, Grandparents of Jackson Adams, Tri-State Fence, Emerson Cattle Company, Iron Horse Bar and Grill, Deborah Borchelt, and Pole Concrete. The Nick Hart Show, a special presentation of the Gibson Southern Football Boosters, Wabash Valley College's Radio, TV, and Digital Media Department, and 89 Won the Bash, starts now.
Good evening, Titan fans, and welcome to yet another week of the Nick Hart Show here on 89.1 The Bash, as well as online at bashradio.com. Cole Carter with you, and happy to be with you for another week of Gibson Southern football as the Titans are 2021 Sectional 32 champions as they took down Heritage Hills in the Sectional Championship back on Friday, 42-7. They're going to play for a regional championship this Friday at home against Lawrenceburg. We will get to that game here in just a little bit, but first let's recap what happened back on Friday. It was a dominant win for Gibson Southern, really from start to finish. The Patriots defense, however, did force a 3-and-out on the first possession of the game, but then the Titans defense would force a 3-and-out of their own, and then the scoring began for Gibson Southern, first on a 50-yard catch and run by Braden Malone.
Third down along 4. Lukeman doesn't get the call. It's a play-action pass. Throwing the flat, caught by Malone. Blockers in front, the 45, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Gibson Southern. There are no flags on the field, and the Titans strike first. A 50-yard catch and run by Braden Malone.
Chris Spears' extra point made it 7-0 Gibson Southern early in the first quarter, and then after yet another Heritage Hills 3-and-out, it was the Titans offense going to work once again, and this time Brady Allen would go to his top receiver, Rory Heltzley.
They're going to go fully spread here. DeLong in the slot, left side, 3 receivers to the right of Brady Allen on 4th down and 3. Patriots bring pressure. Allen throws a deep ball, far sideline. It is going to be caught for a Gibson Southern touchdown. That's Rory Heltzley. What a throw by the Purdue commit, Brady Allen.
That might have been the best pass I've seen Brady Allen throw in his time at Gibson Southern, but on the next Titan drive, he would make a case for the second best throw I've seen him make on an 87-yard catch and run to who else but Braden Malone.
99 seconds left here in the first quarter, 14-0 Gibson Southern. Allen to pass here on 3rd down and 21. Throws a deep ball over the middle of the field. Malone is there, makes the catch with green grass in front. Braden Malone, goodbye. 87 yards, touchdown.
So in the first quarter, Braden Malone had 2 catches for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has stepped up tremendously this season. But how about the Titans defense? The very next play for Heritage Hills, a fumble and a scoop and score. Peyton Rogers with the touchdown.
They go back under center here on 1st down and 10. Rickelman, well, they'll run the option on the right side, and the ball might have came out. The ball did come out. Gibson Southern has a touchdown. It's Peyton Rogers who picked it up and scored. That's a touchdown. No flags.
That made the score 28-0 at the end of the first quarter, and the Patriots were in a deep hill, but it kept on getting deeper as their offense could not get anything going against that dominant Titans defense. Gibson Southern would drive down the field once again on their next possession, capping it off with a 3-yard touchdown run by Adrian Lukeman.
Lukeman to the right of Brady Allen. Allen hands it off to Lukeman, left side. Lukeman is into the end zone. Touchdown, Gibson Southern. A 3-yard run by Adrian Lukeman makes it 34-0.
Lukeman's 9th rushing touchdown of the season, and again, the Titan defense would get the stop that led to another Gibson Southern touchdown. This time, Allen goes back to Braden Malone for the 3rd touchdown connection for those two on the evening.
3 receivers right side. Allen looks that side, throws, and he's got a man there for a touchdown. Braden Malone with his 3rd touchdown of the night. Touchdown, Gibson Southern. A 5-yard pass from Brady Allen to Braden Malone makes it 41-0.
Gibson Southern led 42-0 at halftime, and that's pretty much all they needed, as all 22 starters would take a break in the second half as the Titans would hang on to win by a final score of 42-7 to win their first sectional championship in 6 years.
Boyd under center. He'll take the knee. And for the first time since 2015, the Gibson Southern Titans are sectional champions. They're moving on to the regionals next week. Final score, Gibson Southern 42, Heritage Hills 7.
So for the senior class, they finally get a sectional championship here in 2021, and they move on to the regional this coming Saturday as they'll take on Lawrenceburg, and we'll talk to head coach Nick Hart about that matchup here in just a moment as we'll take our first break of the evening. Stay tuned right here to the Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is brought to you by the following Gibson Southern Football Booster Gold sponsors: Brett's Car Care, Baker Tax and Financial Services, Cordray Insurance, Daylight Land Management, Davis Brothers, Du Bois County Garage Doors, Duke Energy, Foster Construction, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Harper's Pub and Pizza, Hobstadt Summerfest Incorporated, Hydorn Construction, Hobstadt Family Dentistry, Hen Orthodontics, and by Hillside Gardens.
And for the first time since 2015, it's Regionals Week. Gibson Southern Football, Cole Carter with you. It is the Nick Hart Show right here on 89.1 The Bash. And now being joined by Gibson Southern head coach Nick Hart. And coach, first and foremost, congrats on the win on Friday. Sectional champions for the first time in 6 years. How's that feel?
Really good. Been far too long. We're really happy for our kids that have put in all the work to put themselves in that position. I think anytime you win a sectional, it's great. And, now there's only 8 teams left in all of 3A. So you've set yourself up now to, basically, advance when there's only 8 teams left. So that's always the big thing about winning the sectional. You want to win a trophy and everything, but, in the long run, you've advanced out to where there's only 8 teams left in the tournament now.
I think me and you both expected a different Heritage Hills team, an improved Heritage Hills team since the first time they played you guys. They forced you guys to punt on your first drive, but really after that, it was not a contest. I thought you guys did pretty well coming out and playing well early on.
Yeah, after that 3 and out, our offense was on fire, and then defensively, I thought we were phenomenal the entire night against their stuff, and they threw different looks at us, and our guys adjusted great on the fly, and I thought we did a great job at the point of attack on Friday night. We thought we really controlled the line of scrimmage, and that it doesn't matter what type of offense you're playing. If you can do that, then you're setting yourself up to have a chance to be really successful. So. The offense obviously had a big night, but I really think the defense was kind of the star of the show on Friday. Not only they stopped them, they scored one time, but I thought that was a very dominating performance by our defense in the first half on Friday.
We talked to Peyton Rogers here on the show last week, and he explained to us how Heritage Hills was one of the toughest teams to prepare for in terms of formation and reading plays and so on and so forth. But it really seemed like your defense did not struggle whatsoever against that Patriots offense.
No, and again, I thought they threw different looks at us too that we hadn't even scouted and prepared for, and our guys handled that very, very well. But no, I thought defensively, just our assignment, alignment, all those type of things. I think our staff had a great plan, and when we can let our guys go play fast, I think we really play well on the defensive side of the ball. So. I thought we played really fast. We did a great job, like I said, at the line of scrimmage, and then our backers and secondary guys were filling things fast and closing up the holes whenever they were there. So it was just an outstanding team performance by those guys on that side of the ball.
Someone who I think has been stepping up tremendously offensively has been Braden Malone, especially, since the injury to Cole McKee. He's really become a full-time offensive guy, as well as playing defensively, and he's made plays. He had 3 catches for 3 touchdowns last week, had close to 200 yards receiving. He has stepped up big time on this offense.
Yeah, Braden's a great talent. He did a great job for us on offense last year. We knew what we had in him, and fortunately, we had a little bit more depth this year where we didn't have to use him in that role early in the season. When the plan was to kind of keep ramping him up as we got closer and closer to the playoffs. But when Cole went down, it kind of forced the hand there a little bit and making him a full-time guy. But he's very dynamic in what he does, and it's you've seen it just on Friday night on the 2 big plays. One was on a bubble screen, and we did a great job of blocking it up, and he was electric after he caught it. Then the other one, he did a great job of beating his guy and splitting some safeties on the 87-yard touchdown. So he's dynamic. In his routes, and he's dynamic, with the ball in his hands, which is obviously a great combination to have. And, he's just a competitive kid. I thought he played well on the defensive side Friday night too. He's just a competitive kid that's going to give you everything he's got, and he's got a lot of talent to go with it.
And another big wide receiver, Rory Heltzley. We saw him in the second half in street clothes on the sideline, kind of limping around. Did he get banged up on Friday? And if so, is he all right? What's his status?
No, he's good. He's just got something that we've been, managing here the past few weeks. So that was just chance. He always gets his ice and everything after the game, and since he was done, we got him, iced up and started to get taken care of there a little bit quicker instead of waiting until after the game. So he's good. It's just something that he and us have kind of been managing here the past few weeks, and obviously it's not bothering him on the field, in his performance and stuff. So we just got to make sure we, keep giving him the attention that it needs and keeping him healthy as long as we keep moving forward.
So last question in terms of last Friday, a very senior heavy team this year, lots of seniors, and, they were able to win their first sectional championship after having a few heartbreaks over the past couple of years. What did that mean to you as a coach to see this senior class finally get that sectional championship?
It's phenomenal, and heartbreaks, right? And we've run into some really darn good football teams too. This group's run into some really tough teams in the sectional. And sometimes, 2 of the times we were really close, one time we weren't, if you count their freshman year into it. But, twice those teams went on to 2 of those 3 years, teams went on to play in the state championship game. So, it's been our sectional is really tough, and everybody knows that, and it's tough to get out of here. And when you do, it doesn't guarantee you success, but our sectional in the past 6-7 years has done very well whenever they get outside the sectional. So you get out, you got a chance to do some more with it, and really happy for our seniors that they were able to get that sectional championship and put themselves in a position to get to 8 teams, and if you get a win this week, then you get it down to 4.
All right, Coach, well, we'll take our second break of the night. When we come back, we'll look ahead to this big matchup on Saturday against the Lawrenceburg Tigers. Don't go anywhere. It's the Nick Hart Show right here on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show made possible by the following gold sponsors of the Gibson Southern Football Boosters. Hip Dentistry, in memory of Darwin and Eric Kalis. JMCO Technologies, Kiesel Enterprises Incorporated, MyTech Systems, Robert Goob Vermillion of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, Ribham Church, Evansville, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, 10 Barge Seed and Turfgrass Supplies, TYFL, Vogler Metalwork and Design Incorporated, Reinbrecht Homes, Stodgel Funeral Home and Monuments, Young's Auto Body, and Like Transport.
It's the Nick Hart Show right here on 89.1 The Bash, as well as BashRadio.com. Cole Carter with you on this Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm being joined by Gibson Southern head coach Nick Hart as we look ahead to the Titans matchup this Saturday. Yes, that's right. This Saturday at 5 o'clock, they take on Lawrenceburg. So, Coach, from what we've seen from Lawrenceburg, they just beat a top 10 team last week in Brownstown Central, who was undefeated. But what do we know so far about Lawrenceburg?
Very good football team. They have an offensive lineman that's committed to Notre Dame that plays on both sides of the ball. Quarterback's a 4-year starter. Got a very good receiver to go with him on the offensive side. And, I think they're a little unique. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It's just something you don't see a whole lot. They operate out of the shotgun, but play a lot with multiple tight ends at the same time, which is not something you see every day. So it's a little bit unique in their attack, and they want to be a run first team, and they have a very good offensive line, and their schemes fits everything together really nice. But they have the capability, obviously, with a very good 4-year starter at quarterback and a couple of really good weapons at receiver to be balanced and attack in the passing game as well. So it's a tough position that they put a defense in because they kind of go heavy with those tight ends and extra tight ends and stuff in the ball game. And so your natural thought is let's load the box, but I think that can also be a scary proposition because of their quarterback and who they have playing outside. So they give you some really difficult matchup problems from that standpoint.
So before we've mentioned those non-conference games that you guys played earlier in the year, your Columbus North, New Albany, and even South Warren, but now that you're at this point in the season and you're not facing somebody that like a Heritage Hills or a Mount Vernon, how important is it that you guys play those non-conference games early in the year to get you ready for a team like Lawrenceburg?
Yeah, I think it helps a lot. I think just being in some of those tight situations that we were early in the year. I know the Columbus North game ended up being a little bit bigger spread, but there in the third quarter, it was pretty snug. They had a chance to get a 2-point conversion to cut it to 8, and just some of those tight game situations that we really haven't been in here. The past several weeks. I think that's huge. I think playing against some of the guys up front and skill guys that we got to play against in those games, you can kind of draw off some of that for this week as well as you're facing some really, really good football players. So, I think I don't think it makes you win the football game, but, I'm certainly glad as we're sitting here now that we got to play those games and help prepare us to play a team like Lawrenceburg.
From what you've seen from Lawrenceburg on film so far, what do you feel is going to be the number one key for you guys to execute to pull off the win?
Well, I tell you about, they do so much formationally with all those tight ends and everything. I think one is we got to make sure we're lined up correctly, and you don't get outflanked as they line up in some different formations, and then they'll motion a guy, and there's a lot of moving pieces there that we got to make sure that we're on top of our game mentally, before the ball's even snapped. But I think they're on both sides of the football. They're a very physical team. They play a very physical style of football on both sides. So you got to match that physicality. They're going to come out and they're going to try and run the football. And I talked about they're very capable of passing, but they want to run it. We got to match that physicality and have some chances to get them off the field. I think they're going to want to control the clock and the ball and keep our offense on the sideline. And so, getting some stops and then I think defensively, they like to bring some pressure and stuff, which we've been so good against the blitz this year. And that's not, Brady's been phenomenal against it, but it goes for our offensive line, our running backs that are involved in blitz pickup. I wish we could have, I think we talked about this one time with you. I wish we could have like the next gen stats of, what we look like, versus the blitz, because it's been the best that we've ever been against it and stuff. But so it's not a concern if they want to bring pressure and stuff. It's just, making sure through the course of this week that we're good with the different types of pressures that they can bring, and we can identify them and make sure we have the appropriate type of protection, for Brady in that. So, but to answer your original question, I think when you get in big ball games like this, man, it's always comes down to turnovers and big plays are likely going to be a big deciding factor in the outcome when you get to this level of the tournament and you're playing a level of opponent like what Lawrenceburg is.
You mentioned the blitz, and Brady has done tremendous against the blitz this year, and so has the offensive line, especially in the latter half of the season. They're in the early weeks, they had their struggles, but really I feel like right now this offensive line has got it figured out, and they've been playing tremendously.
Yeah, I really think they've played a lot better as the year's gone on. We haven't seen a ton of blitz, recently, because we've done so well against it. Mount Vernon tried to heat us up some, and Heritage Hills did in spots the other night. But no, I think our offensive line's done a great job against it. I think Brady's gotten even better about knowing when pressure's coming, where he needs to go with the football to get it out quick and get it to the right guy. And I think our running backs are doing a better job in their pass protection too, whenever we are seeing blitz. So no, I think you hit it. I think we're playing and protecting a lot better up front than what we were early in the year.
Do you remember the last time you guys played on a Saturday?
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it, but no, the last time we played on Saturday, we played a regular season game a couple years ago at Southport on a Saturday on a trip. Our last playoff game was a snow game in the semi-state, and not many people around here like talking about that game, including me. But no, I think it does. It changes your week a little bit, and how you got to prepare, and you kind of get that extra day. And everybody thinks like, you get an extra day of practice, and it's not really how we're approaching it. I think right now, health is the most important thing that you have. And I think running out there for 3, true practices would be a mistake. And, we are limited with the amount of contacts we can do during a week. So we've kind of pushed our week back a little bit. Monday was a mental day, and today we'll go out helmets only and kind of get through some of the mental stuff on the field. And we're kind of pushed back a day. Typically Tuesday and Wednesdays are big, practice days, and that'll be Wednesday and Thursday this week, before we pregame it on Friday and get ready for Saturday. So it changes it a little bit, but, we're trying to keep it as normal as we possibly can and just keep the flow of the week. You've been doing something for 12 weeks, you don't want to really change up, a whole lot of the routine, when you get to this level. And I think that's pretty common for what a lot of people would do on a Saturday game. I think everybody would like to keep it, on Fridays. But, when your regional opponent's 4 hours away, playing on Friday is not really an option that's there. So it'd be nice if our regional opponent wasn't 4 hours away, but it is what it is. And, they're playing on Saturday just like we are. So everybody's a little out of the routine, and it's going to come down to, who plays the best on Saturday, who doesn't turn the ball over, and, who plays well up front and all those type of things.
All right, Nick, as always, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck on Saturday, and we'll chat with you again next Tuesday for hopefully not the last time.
All right, thanks, Cole.
That's Gibson Southern head coach Nick Hart. We'll take our final break of the evening. When we come back, we'll get you ready for that regional championship this Saturday. It's Gibson Southern against Lawrenceburg. Don't go anywhere. It's the Nick Hart Show right here on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is made possible by the following silver-level sponsors of the Gibson Southern Football Boosters: ADG Architecture and Design Group, Gady Oil, Johnson Commercial Mowing, in loving memory of Zach Bailey, Julia's School of Dance, Kathy Solman Photography, Make Your Mark, United Fidelity Bank, Vertical Tile, Grandparents of Jackson Adams, Tri-State Fence, Emerson Cattle Company, Iron Horse Bar and Grill, Deborah Borchelt, and Pole Concrete.
Fourth and final segment of the Nick Hart Show here in Regionals Week 2021. Cole Carter with you. As always, big thanks to head coach Nick Hart, taking some time out of his Tuesday evening to chat with me here on the Nick Hart Show. And we will preview this Saturday's regional championship as Gibson Southern welcomes in the 11-1 Lawrenceburg Tigers to Jack Jewell Field this weekend. And if you're wondering how far of a drive that is for Lawrenceburg, it's about 4 hours from Fort Branch. It is right across the river from Cincinnati, Ohio. It's about as far east in Indiana as you can go, but it's going to be a heck of a drive for Lawrenceburg, which is the main reason why this game is being played on Saturday. But if you're Gibson Southern, a really good chance to use that 4-hour drive at your advantage. You know, of course, anybody who's played sports in their life knows that the longer the bus ride, the harder it is to really get in a rhythm. And Gibson Southern hoping that is the case this Saturday as Lawrenceburg makes the bus trip to Fort Branch. Talking about Lawrenceburg, they're 11-1. They have not lost since week 1 back on August 20th. That was a 34-6 loss against East Central, but since then, they have been blowing teams out. The closest game they've played was in the sectional semifinal against Greensburg, in which they won by a score of 15-6. Every other game has been running clock, and the most impressive score on this schedule for Lawrenceburg was a 91-12 win over Rushville back in week 7. Granted, Rushville, they finished their season 0-10, did not win a game, so take that with a grain of salt. But regardless, anytime you're facing a team that is capable of scoring 91 points, you know you're going to have your hands full. And something else that's very impressive about this Lawrenceburg team is they beat a very good Brownstown Central team last week. Brownstown Central was a top 10 team in 3A. They were 11-1 going into that game, and Lawrenceburg got the best of them. Brownstown Central ends their season at 11-2. But there's no doubt, if you look up and down the schedule and results for Lawrenceburg, this is a team that's very similar to Gibson Southern in terms of they haven't played a close game pretty much all season. Not once this year has Gibson Southern really had to play all their starters for all 4 quarters. If you go back to that Columbus North game in week 1, that's probably the longest they've played this year, but every other game we've seen the second team offense and second team defense in the 3rd and 4th quarter. But I do think really from this point forward, we're going to be asking our guys to play a full football game, because this is when you start to see the best of the best in the state of Indiana. Now, if you're wondering what happens if Gibson Southern wins, well, better pack your bags, because we're going to be making a road trip rather to Owen Valley or to Tri-West. Tri-West is up north just to the west of Indianapolis, and Owen Valley, a little bit less than 2-hour drive in between here in Indianapolis. So this will be the final home game of the season for Gibson Southern regardless. It's just how it falls with the way the sectional pairings are. The lower number of sectional is going to host the semi-state, and with Gibson Southern being sectional 32, that's impossible. So the final home game of the season this year for Gibson Southern, this Saturday, the regional championship against Lawrenceburg. That starts at 5 o'clock. We'll have a 4:45 pregame show for you. Going to be a little bit different than usual, but regardless, Gibson Southern facing what probably will be their best competition besides South Warren, their best competition they faced in the state of Indiana, in Lawrenceburg, who is 11-1. They are winners of 11 straight. But Gibson Southern, on a winning streak of their own, they've won 8 straight, and of course, none of those games being even close. Other area teams playing in the regionals this weekend include Evansville Memorial, who will take on East Central. That's also a Saturday game. Once again, East Central, the only team that has defeated Lawrenceburg this year. That is Saturday at 2 p.m., and that one is in Evansville. I assume they'll play that at Enlow Field. East Central taking on Evansville Memorial, and the other Evansville team in action this weekend, Mater Dei. They've had a great season. They're going to go on the road to Triton Central, who is 8-4 this year. Mater Dei is 10-2. So good luck to Mater Dei and Memorial this weekend. The other area teams in action in regional championships Friday and Saturday. Once again, Gibson Southern playing host to Lawrenceburg Saturday at 5 o'clock. We'll have the action for you with a pregame show starting at 4:45. Also across the river in Illinois, Mount Carmel playing host to Benton in a 3A Illinois matchup. That being the quarterfinals. The winner moves on to the semifinals and will be just one win away from a state championship appearance. Mount Carmel undefeated hosting Benton. So if you got some time before the Gibson Southern game, going over to Mount Carmel, check out that first half and then make your way over to Fort Branch. That could be what I might do on Saturday. Want to watch some good football. So that's going to wrap things up for tonight's edition of the Nick Hart Show. As always, big thanks to Gibson Southern head coach Nick Hart for chatting with me tonight. Also, a big thanks to all of our Gibson Southern football sponsors and all of you Gibson Southern football fans who listen in every Tuesday at 7 o'clock and every Friday night, and even this Saturday night. We'll have the action for you once again at 4:45 with a 5 o'clock kickoff as Gibson Southern hosts Lawrenceburg in the regional championship for a chance to go to semi-state. Thanks for listening to the Nick Hart Show right here on 89.1 The Bash. I'll chat with you again on Saturday at 4:45. I'm Cole Carter, signing off. Go Titans!
The Nick Hart Show has been brought to you by the following Gibson Southern football boosters: Brett's Car Care, Baker Tax and Financial Services, Cordray Insurance, Daylight Land Management, Davis Brothers, Du Bois County Garage Doors, Duke Energy, Foster Construction, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Harper's Pub and Pizza, Hobstadt Summerfest Incorporated, Hydorn Construction, Hobstadt Family Dentistry, Penn Orthodontics, Hillside Gardens, Hip Dentistry, in memory of Darwin and Eric Kalis, JMCO Technologies, Kiesel Enterprises Incorporated, MyTech Systems, Robert Goob Vermillion of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, Rhythm Church Evansville, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, Tenbarge Seed and Turfgrass Supplies, TYFL, Vogler Metalwork and Design Incorporated, Reinbrecht Homes, Stodgel Funeral Home and Monuments, Young's Auto Body, Like Transport, ADG Architecture and Design Group, Gady Oil, Johnson Commercial Mowing, in loving memory of Zach Bailey, Julia's School of Dance, Kathy Solman Photography, Make Your Mark, United Fidelity Bank, Vertical Tile, Grandparents of Jackson Adams, Tri-State Fence, Emerson Cattle Company, Iron Horse Bar and Grill, Deborah Borchelt, and Pole Concrete. The Nick Hart Show has been a special presentation of the Gibson Southern Football Boosters, the Wabash Valley College Radio, TV, and Digital Media Department, and 89.1 The Bash.